Hi Dave. I'm going to do that, if you can see it, but bigger for you. Okay, got some geese, I think. So I shall do them in watercolour. I'll do it the way I normally do it. These are the brushes that I use. You can see those. I like Rosemary and Co. They are Kolinsky Sable, but they're quite good value. But this is the brushes that I actually use for painting. But you use the ones that you prefer. They have a very nice point. Can you see that on the paper? Look, that one will come to a nice point when they're wet. Here's my little palette that I'm going to be using for this painting. I've got 2 yellows, 2 reds, sort of a purpley shadow colour, that's green, sap green, and then that's phthalo blue, ultramarine, turquoise blue, indigo, burnt sienna and burnt umber. So it's only a restricted palette of 12 colours, and most of the time just letting them blend and mix together. So apart from that, I've got tissue and the water, so we'll get started. Okay. When I do these, I usually start with the body bit round here, so I'm going to mix up a bit of the yellow. Sort of looks green, and just mixing the colours. And then I just tend to drop the colours in as I'm working. So we've got sort of like a ooh, look at that, that's lovely. This is permanent rose. It's one of my favourite colours. Just blending that out, and then I shall bring it down here because it's now, I'm going to mix the yellow with burnt sienna and get a sort of a orangey colour for his feet. Got hair there. Down here. A lot of it is letting the colours blend on the page for you. And then up the side here, I'm going to use a blue. I might not change my brush just yet. And that will probably be a very pale wash of phthalo blue, which is lovely because it's just such a lovely blue. And you can get nice effects with that. So we're coming down from the top of his head, down here, and I'm just stroking it down, rinsing my brush, and then with the water on my brush I'm just going to let that blend out to soften that edge. Okay, see how that's coming? Nice. Right, we'll do the next one, the one in the middle. Again, I usually start at the bottom. I honestly don't know why I do that, but that's how I... And then just let the colours come round. Bit of the pink again, bring that round. And blend it, rinse the brush and blend. I'm not being particularly careful, just sort of letting the colours blend, and then bring that sort of orangey colour down into his legs. Then mix a bit of that up again. Oops, it's a bit orange. Into his legs down here. And then again using that blue, come from, his head comes round like that, so he's got a bit of shape. And then we can bring that, rinse the brush, and then just bring that down. So we're not actually filling him in, we're just sort of creating colour. And then the last one, again I'll start at the bottom. Put a bit of blue up, yellow up the side. Rinse the brush, soften the edges, get in a little bit of pink up the side here this time. Bring that down, soften those edges. Don't want any hard edges on a goose. Then the blue comes down here and round. To soften those edges again and smooth the colour to where you want it to go. Try not to get the thing to turn green. Okay. And then add his feet. And hopefully that's still a bit damp, so that'll merge. Oops, up there. I've got a little bit of colour falling there, but that doesn't matter. We can sort that out. He's a bit pigeon-toed. Just get that away from there. Okay, let's tidy that up. So changing to my smaller brush, and I'm going to use that orangey mix that I've made to do the beaks. So I'll start over here, this chap, or chapess I suppose, I don't know. I tend to do the outline and then just fill it in. So that's that one done. Then we've got this one here. Bit of distinctive profile going on there, I think. And this chap here. Pencil lines will disappear, but they're quite nice to be seen sometimes. So that's mainly it. I think it's getting dry. Some of the areas look as if they get lost, so where you've got colours like here where he's getting lost against the white, and here and perhaps there, we can add a little bit of blue. That's, oh, it's a bit strong. That's a nice sort of phthalo blue again, so we could come just a little bit round his head and then smudge it out. We can come around here and again smudge that out, just to give the outline. And then here we can come from here. If you have a brush with a nice point, it helps, because you can get up close to the edges, and then just drag that colour out. I'm not being particular with it, I'm just sort of soften the edges, and that just helps. You could pop a little bit in, say down here if you wanted, like that, and then just smudge it out. Just helps create the background a little bit better, so you know the viewer can see the shape of the creature, just to give a little bit of an idea of what's going on. Come down here. Smudge that out, there we go. And I'll just put a little bit in around here, I think. A bit in around there. There we go. Right. So I'll change my brush. I'll go for the small brush again. Nearly done. Feet are dry. So we're now going to use some burnt sienna just to put some marks on the got little dimples where, oops. I think I'll mix that with burnt umber. There, let's put some little dots where his knees are. If you've got too much paint on your brush, just dab it onto a bit of tissue and that will just take it away a little bit. Just put some marks in. And then put some little dots on your noses. I've got the shakes on today. Got a bit of a nose going on there, hasn't he? If it's not right, you can always blot it out with a bit of paper, tissue, and have another go. There we are, that looks a bit better. Got a bit of bleed on now. Perhaps I'll go back to that later. Alright, now we just need to do... There's some shadow I want to put in because he's in the front. This one here's in the front. He's next to him, and that one's slightly behind, so we're going to put a bit of shadow in. And I've got a colour that is called Dioxzine Purple, which is very nice. You can add a bit of brown to it or whatever colour you like, and it just makes a nice shadowy colour without being overpowering and still translucent. I don't know if you can hear the dog squeaking. It's Bobby in the background squeaking. Right, so here's the shadow going in. Okay, and we're going to have a little bit down this side, off there. Shadows are usually a reflection of the opposite, you know, what it's against. And it's often best to use a translucent colour with the paint because that will then allow the colours that you've got underneath to show through with your shadow to make them not look flat, basically. I could then feel I'm on a roll now. Right, we'll put the eyes in. I think I'll just do a little bit of specks for the eyes. Oops. So his eyes shut. And that one in there. This poor little chap looks almost bewildered. He's having problems with his eyes and his nose. Oh God. There we go. See if we can get his nose back in. See if we can do the nose next. What is wrong? I'll get there. Feeling a bit cross-eyed. There we are. And there's the eyes. There we go. So that's then more or less done. Just need to have, I think, a little bit of shadow down here. And obviously some shadow for them to walk on, because at the moment they look as if they're floating in the air. I'll just put a little bit of shadow down here. Just move that along a bit. And there we go. And we can put a little bit of shadow here. I sometimes think I take more paint off than I put on because I then use the water to sort of manipulate what's going on. We can have a little bit of shadow under here. Don't get too carried away with it. Start fiddling. Okay, there we go. That's given him a little bit of shape. Perhaps he could have a little bit around here. Oops. A bit of, okay. Just feels he needs a little bit of something. There we go. And you could probably do with some down here. If I start doing this, I could be fiddling all day. There we go. Right, so that's them more or less done. I just now need to put some shadow in to stop them floating in mid-air. So he's walking. I'm just letting the brush sort of scoot across the page really. I'm not painting, I suppose. I'm just sort of running the brush across and letting it pick up where it can. Okay. And if you wanted something a little bit more, you know, exciting, we can lay a bit of tissue across here. And then we can get some purple on the brush and do a few spatters. There. This poor guy again, he's got spattered. And that's it, Dave. What do you think? I'll show you the right way round. There we go. You see this? That way you can see it. Okay, Dave? Right, I'll see you later. Bye.